We got a claim from the union crew. They say AI Vader just won't do. He's talking wild, like real life threats, trying to ingoon it on the internet. He said Spanish is for smugglers now, talking about spice like it's Star Wars chow. And did you hear what he said about your mom? That voice got riz, but it ain't calm. AI Vader's got the voice, yeah, it's true. But James Earl Jones wouldn't say that too. He's evil cold with a breathing tube, not chilling online making booty reviews, talking about Chun-Li's booty. Whoa, bro, that's not what a Sith Lord should know. Let's keep it real, protect the vibe. You can't just clone a legend's life.
This may sound harsh to some of our viewers, but I believe that everyone in this story should step on a Lego.
Before we get into any blustering about AI and the placement of it and Epic Games and Disney and yada yada yada, I want to acknowledge that James Earl Jones was a very talented actor and absolutely deserving of having his performances preserved through this type of media, this AI generation thing, especially seeing as how he agreed to it, okay? I want to make that known right out of the gate. Mr. Jones was a fantastic performing talent. I myself come from a background of stage acting, and so his work on the stage is what really speaks to me. Darth Vader is very cool. His performances in other movies like Conan the Barbarian, also very cool. But his stage work is just, it's awe-inspiring. Feel free to go back and take a look at any one of Mr. Jones's stage appearances. It is just awe-inspiring how that man just blends right into a stage. I don't know if I'll ever rise to that talent, but that guy definitely set the standard, absolutely. And so what brings it to my attention now is this mess, okay? So SAG AFTRA has stepped forward and said, hey, this is an unfair labor practice. We have AI negotiating authority for our members, okay? And Llama Productions, the people behind Fortnite, signed a deal with the estate of James Earl Jones. I was going to say Darth Vader. They signed a deal with the estate of Darth Vader. But no, that's not that's not what happened. So, here's the hiccup in all of this, okay? Is that, yes, James Earl Jones agreed to this, having his voice preserved in this manner, okay? Absolutely. However, with that contract came a few stipulations, and of course, SAG AFTRA was an influence upon that. They represent the screen actors, and he was a screen actor. Probably one of the best, okay? So it's like, they're going to obviously want a seat at the table on this one because they're obviously going to feel like they made him and they want a cut of any posthumous or whatever that word is, post-death profit, all right? And that's what they're doing here is that this is SAG AFTRA trying to get paid on a dead man, all right? Now, you have Fortnite trying to make money on a dead man. You have Disney trying to make money on a dead man. And the estate may also be part of the family's control, but it may also be part of a law firm's control because we've also seen that happen before, like the acting agency ends up in control of this stuff. The only actor I've ever known to like just really smack this right out of the park to just completely eliminate it is Robin Williams. He put in his will that you're not allowed to reproduce him in any way, shape, or form. And that's why you didn't see any Return of the Genie or any of this stuff of him being remixed into a new version with Will Smith, doing a duet with Will Smith. None of that. And that's good, in my opinion. I think that James Earl Jones probably made a mistake here. Because in his mind, when he was agreeing to this and when his agency was explaining it to him, he was thinking of The Force Unleashed. He was thinking of video games that were going to continue the legacy of Vader and continue the expansion of the Star Wars universe as he understood it to be this space opera, something that helped, I would argue, really make his career. He had done performances before this, but Star Wars was arguably when James Earl Jones became a household name. A lot of people believed he was the guy in the suit, Again, that's credit to the character actor that portrayed him, the English bodybuilder there. I just can't remember his name, and I'm very sorry. I know this man has also passed away. I'm very sorry I can't remember his name. Please let me know down in the comments what his name is, and I'll make sure that's pinned, okay? So that way we don't leave anybody behind here. But what I want to stress is that this is what James Earl Jones was thinking of, you know, the Star Killer. Having this kind of ongoing character like introduction to Vader. Vader is sort of either a menace to this person or a mentor, like with Starkiller. Starkiller, the guy, not the base, right? But we don't have to worry about this particular iteration. It's never coming back. You know, we've got this now. Thanks, Dave. Really knocking it out of the park, Dave. Really knock it out of the park. And so, because we have SAG AFTRA introducing themselves into this, I have to remind you guys that they do have bargaining power on behalf of members. And it seems after their death as well that they can make these deals where the union gets money, the estate gets money, and, you know, I assume the agency that's in charge of executing that estate also gets some, you know, greasing of the palm as well. Because again, when it comes to this representation, it is not about James Earl Jones, okay? And what I want to stress is that this is the third rail. This is the sharp and pointy part. I hope you're nice and comfy because this is the part where I make you uncomfortable, okay? Because this is not what James Earl Jones would lended his voice to AI for. It's not over. It's not over.
There's no fucking way, bro.
Again with this.
Now, I know James Earl Jones did some comedic performances in his time, but I don't believe that that was ever intended to be using what is considered a racial slur. Vader, as portrayed in the movies, looks like me, not like James Earl Jones. So his use of that word, AI or otherwise, that gets up into that Shiloh Hendrix territory all of a sudden, now doesn't it? And this is not what Vader. I keep confusing these characters. You see what's happened here? Vader and James Earl Jones have kind of bled together a little bit. You see what's happened? And so this is not what James Earl Jones wanted his career to be immortalized as. As in the opening, you can see these compilations. I'm not going to steal somebody's thunder. You can go out here and search them yourself. There's tons of them right now. Everybody and their brothers punking Vader, getting him to say crazy things. Because the AI is programmed to be all Star Wars-y. So it's not recognizing when it's like, hey, Vader, do you like Chung-Li's booty? And it'll rate Chung-Li's booty. Again, I don't believe that James Earl Jones lended his voice to AI for the purposes of rating video game character butts. All right? It's a nice butt. Very nice butt. Very nice. We approve of this, absolutely. But this should not be a conversation you're having with Anakin Skywalker post-Lava World, all right? Probably not on his mind, considering that he was dick down in the lava there. You know, I'm pretty sure he's not thinking about that anymore, okay? All right? It's a very strange space to be in right now as just an observer outside of this that's like, haha, funny Vader thing. And then, oh God, that's a real man's voice. And he had a storied legacy and was a celebrated actor and very, very influential in the world of Hollywood. Like, huh? That, you know, and all of a sudden he's out here dropping all kinds of slurs, doing Fortnite dances, and, you know, being one of the bros. In fact, he's encouraging people to stop gooning. I mean, that's a plus, but he's encouraging people to stop gooning. And this is not what Darth Vader should be reduced to doing. And again, I want to stress that this was not the intention of James Earl Jones when he lended his voice to this. Even the Lego Star Wars video games don't put Vader in a place of blue comedy, if you will. Stuff that you'd hear out of Tom Segura. Probably not Tim, the guy that's really... Not Tim Pool. It's another guy. Tosh. Daniel Tosh. I get the T's mixed up. Tosh. Probably not going to be that far, right? Probably didn't envision AI being used for that, but here we are, okay? And so that's what I want to argue with you guys. That's the third rail to all this. That's the sharp and pointy part, is that everybody involved in this is wrong. Everyone involved in this is wrong. Have a voice impressionist create this stuff, and then run it through the AI clone generator, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. There's tons of Star Wars video games out there that had multiple actors that did this, okay? Now, SAG AFTRA makes that claim that you should have gone, that they should, Llama Productions should have reached out to SAG and they would have had negotiations about an impersonator, not the AI doing this, because the AI is not smart enough to be able to pick up on every slur, every slang, because slang is constantly mutating. Every day there's a brand new word for a new thing. Words are being repurposed all the time. So what was a word like bone? You remember when bone was going to take over cool? Remember when all those weird high school girls were going around like, that's so bone, that's so bone. You remember that? Gosh, I hated that. And so that happens. Well, guess what? Vader doesn't know anything about that. He's just Boomer Vader out there trying to take over the galaxy in a Fortnite map. He's trying to chug his way to that atrium full of children. You know what I mean? Like, you want to hang out with that guy. It's a bizarre kind of space to be in right now, right? And again, like, you have a Thanos generator coming up, you know, that's kind of thing. So then you have all of that kind of controversy where Thanos is twerking and doing all these weird things, even though he's portrayed as this horrible, awful character. And I know that this is meant to be funny and not that serious. But what you have to understand is that this was a real man. All right, this is the voice of a real man. It's not an AI recreation of that voice. It is his voice entered into the AI. So the AI is pulling from his actual recorded vocal tones, not an AI taking its best guess, pulling from Darth Vader audio from the movies. James Earl Jones went in and recorded a bunch of lines for this, surrendered a bunch of other things into this that would have allowed them to have a more complete library of all the tones and all the different delivery styles that he had in order to give you a complete voice suite for the AI to pull from, okay? Now, again, like I stressed, this is not the same as scraping that audio out of a YouTube video. It's very different. This was time and effort and legally decided upon. And I gather, again, I understand that Llama made a deal with the estate. This is my third rail opinion that it should have never have happened this way. This is not where you take a dead man's voice. It just isn't, you know, especially someone that voice really, really, really defined his acting career. I would say that James was more over known for his voice than his face. Not that he had a hard face to look at, I'm just saying he's not ugly. What I'm saying is that people knew James Earl Jones by the voice that told you that CNN was the most trusted name in news. And I can't even get close, okay? That's how bad it is. And that's what I'm telling you, is that this kind of thing is meant to be honorable. It's meant to be something that builds up the legacy of James Earl Jones, not reduce him to rating polygonal butt cheeks. They're nice butt cheeks. I just don't think a Sith Lord should be neck deep in that, that's all. You'll have to let me know all about eating the booty like groceries down below, and as always, guys, hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, right, I did that backwards. Good luck out there. I'll get it right eventually, okay? I'll get it right eventually.